I literally just finished my first and only. I'm a 1-cup coffee kind of guy. I've tried the 2-cup, and it sends me over. I'm literally like kind of shaking. Trav popped in. He's like, hey, this company Magic Mind sent us these little elixir bottles.
Really cool design on their logo.
It looked legit. It looked like a little mini smoothie.
Matcha, natural ingredients.
It had that organic, natural look, and I was like, hey, all right, I'll give it a go. Popped it down. Flavor was fine, actually, like not bad. I like that kind of
sweet.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, Trav dropped one off at my house, and I just like the fact that it's just one swig. I'm not having to guzzle a whole cup of coffee.
No, it's not like a big old kale shake or something that you're like, good Lord.
A great little shot to the brain.
Both Dan and I had it at the beginning of
probably
of a school
7:40 in the morning.
Yeah.
I usually drink my coffee around 6, so coffee had kind of done its thing, and I was like, let's see how long this lasts. And I felt noticeably a little more pep in my step. I'm sure my students appreciated it.
You could supplement your morning caffeine, your morning coffee. You can have this with it. You could try to replace it.
Yeah, and you don't need to lug around a heavy canteen of coffee. You got a little elixir in your pocket.
Yeah, I don't know how many
pull
ounces
it out
when
you're feeling you need that pep, and it's a nice little swig.
Helps you do what you want to do. So, during this month of January, Magic Mind would like to offer you 1 month for free when you subscribe for 3 months, and you can do that at magicmind.com/JAN, hold your horses. That's lowercase and one word. So that's at magicmind.com/Jan, hold your horses. And if you use our code horses20, then you can get 1 month for free when you subscribe for 3 months. Also, at the start of 2024 in January, they are now at Sprouts Farmers Market.
Oh, wow.
So if you live close to a Sprouts, hop on in there.
I would imagine at least a half
Tell
dozen
them
of our
we
listeners
sent
did.
you.
Yep.
That's right.
Okay? They probably won't know what you're talking about, but
tell
that's
them about
okay.
us. Tell them about
us. Yep.
Yep.
And then stroll right on to where they have the Magic Mind. Buy yourself a few of those. And get ready for increased focus, productivity, creativity. The sky is the limit.
Yep.
An all-around better day.
Yeah. And I would imagine if you were to have one of these right before listening to Hold Your Horses, you would laugh twice as hard, twice as long, and you'd probably listen to it twice.
As much.
The episode two times.
Two times.
Two times in a row.
Two times in a row.
Whirlwind. You just teed us up. Trav. Okay. Handmaiden.
The hand boys too.
How did he be the handyman?
Oh, why didn't we say anything about handball?
Or handyman.
Handyman.
Oh man.
Jack Handy.
Yeah. There you go.
Why don't we do a practice
Too late.
episode?
Okay.
All right.
Just go back for like 2 seconds, then we just say Jack Handy, handyman.
Handles Messiah. No, you already said
I
that.
did that. That
All
did
right.
not work.
Okay.
It's your episode, whoever.
Okay. I'll kick us off. It's a new year. No, that's not my idiom.
Okay.
Kickoff, I don't think is one. But it's 2024, which means I get to watch my favorite movie again because I watch it every year. And so 2023 just ended. So I can start. Do you know what it is?
Lord of the Rings.
No, we just finished that.
Born Identity.
My favorite movie.
The Fugitive.
Ooh, you're getting
Back to the Future.
There it is. Okay, so Back to the Future.
It is mine too.
So my idiom is going to take a little bit of time to get to, but I'm going to start with Back to the Future because there's a line in there that's always intrigued me, and I think it'll bring us to where I'm headed. But Dr. Brown is very fond of saying, "Great Scott."
Good.
And I am curious, first of all, just what that means, why they say it, who Scott is, why is he great, and then my idiom.
No, we were. Oh, okay.
My idiom is he got off scot-free. So I'm blending the Scots here, and if Grace and Robert are listening, there's some Scots out there.
Cousins out there.
And so that's kind of where this is headed. But I want to start with Great Scott. Yep. And we'll go from there. And I was thinking of a couple other expressions that have great in front of them.
Okay.
So I've got Dane, but that Great Dane.
Great Dane. Oh yeah.
Okay.
And then Balls of Fire.
Great Balls of Fire.
So hey, can you guys think of any more? Because I was really
Great
racking.
Expectations.
Okay. Great Gatsby.
Great Gatsby. The Great War. That was World War I.
Right.
Okay. So great.
I think you were saying like
The Great
like
Escape.
Exclamations. But now we're just
Yeah, now we're just saying like books or novels.
Expressions that start with great.
Yeah.
Trying to. I mean, Great Dane isn't, I guess, but Great Balls of Fire.
Yeah.
Great Balls of Fire.
Great job.
Thank you. Thank you. No, thank you.
Oh, but
is it great job? I
say
usually
that.
hear mediocre job.
Yeah.
Like,
I just hear job.
you did okay on that.
You did a job.
Meaty Joker job.
Job.
So Great Scott, let's just, what are you guys thinking on that?
Oof.
Who is this Great Scott? When did they start saying it?
Great Scott.
That was in the 50s, so that had to have been popular during that.
Was that in the 50s?
That's when he starts saying it, when he goes back in time. Dr.
So that
Brown.
rules out Scottie Pippen.
Right, or
Scott Hamilton.
I don't know any.
Scott's not his Uncle Scott.
Uncle Scott,
Grace Scott, Robert. Other than those,
Michael Scott.
That's
a new
He's
one.
a great Scott.
So, but I'm thinking it refers to
The Scotts.
Yep.
Well, there has to be some
Scott.
William Wallace.
Yep.
That's good.
He's the greatest
Great
of all the
Scott.
Yep.
Scots.
Great Scott.
So it's 1T.
1T.
I think Scott's is 1T.
Scot-free is 1T for sure. Yeah. And then
really?
What?
Yeah.
Really, Scott, and for a while I wasn't sure if it was Scotch-free.
Oh, that changes everything.
I'm Scotch-free tonight.
Oh, I thought you
My
meant
glass
they
is
go to the bar
Scotch-free,
and they're
so
like,
I
"Hey, I
don't
heard
know.
it was Scotch-free tonight."
Free Scotch.
I heard
The Scott was free tonight. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is 1T.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a game changer.
Wow.
Sometimes
I've never seen a 1T Scott. Have you?
Early on, we tried to kind of come into this cold, and no one would know what we're talking. But in order to kind of prep and have some something interesting,
You looked up Scott?
So I looked up Scot-free. Yeah.
Oh, you did research.
No, I didn't
that's
look
the same
You did
way
research
he looked up the
on-
answer to the
No,
last
On
one.
mine, he researched.
Right.
Let me clarify.
Huh.
So I have an idea,
Okay.
and then I start looking things. You'll see. You'll see. Yeah.
I just a quick.
We don't need
little
to rewind the
disclaimer.
tape,
I
so.
think this will be the last time this chair is used.
I
during this
no.
recording.
You have to get up
it's
and
it's literally.
Yeah, that's the one I usually
through
I usually
the
sit.
bottom.
No, you just
'cause
need
look,
to.
see that.
You got to make it
I'm
even.
on like.
You have to sit up and move it.
Yeah, get it in the middle of the chair,
Yeah,
man.
like look, this part comes.
Stand up.
This part comes off.
'Kay.
The seat.
Okay.
Who's editing
Don't
this?
fly by the seat of your pants, people.
There we go.
There we-
Nice.
see?
Does that feel solid?
See? But it is a bit sticky.
It's a
Like,
bit sticky.
yeah.
All right,
So
so
it's not a great chair, but anyways.
Anyway, all right. So that's what I had. I had Scotland, Braveheart, and Scotland Yard. Kind of those were the greats that I was thinking of.
Scotland Yard, yeah.
You know.
You dirty dog.
Oh, did you already go that route?
dog.
Okay.
So we just have to jump in fast here because it
But-
sounds like everybody's
I'll go
wheels
next.
are turning.
So he got off.
I'll
Yeah, I'll go last
He
again.
He
That
got
seems
off
fair.
scot-free.
That seems fair.
So I'm thinking of, the Scottish.
Chiefs.
What are they called? People? Scotland's?
No, they're not people.
Scottish.
So don't use that.
I am
the
so
Scots.
sorry for,
just the
for
Scots?
his behavior
The
right now.
Scots?
So
What do you call them?
wow.
The Irish? The Scots?
Oh, you just. Which is it? Because there's two very different groups of people.
I know.
No,
you
he
say,
knows
you
the
say
Irish
the
are
Irish,
different. He's trying to say, do you say Scottish?
Yeah.
Which, yes, you do.
the Scots, the Scottish.
The Scottish.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
So I'm thinking of like a war or something or a battle. They got off scot-free or some penalty that occurred.
Wait, what?
Like someone who gets in trouble
Yeah.
and then.
No, go to the war, though. What do you mean?
Well, I was thinking more the upper hand on that one.
So they had
did
the
that
upper.
one. Yeah.
So
They
they
did
had,
it.
hey, we have the upper hand. Oh, okay. You
Okay,
guys
get
are
off
off
scot-free.
But why
'Cause they're-
scot-free?
Because they're Scottish.
Can I
Okay.
take this one?
Yes, go.
Okay.
Oh, crap.
Okay.
All right.
So basically, it means without getting caught, right?
Right.
You get away with.
So in the
something,
movie
right?
The Great Escape,
Yeah.
one of the best, probably
Steve
top
McQueen.
5,
Yep.
Steve McQueen.
Top 5.
Some of them got off scot-free. And it was a truly great escape. But
I just want you to say your little story and then come back to me. So.
many of them did not.
Right.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Okay, great. Anyways.
The cooler king
So you-
didn't.
cooler hands prevailed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No. So you said Scotland Yard, right?
I did.
Which is not really related to Scotland at all, and there's not a geographic.
I'm sure there's a relation,
but it's
Travis.
the name of London's Metropolitan Police, right?
Sure.
So to get away scot-free, I think that it's like you would get away without anyone chasing you like the authorities.
The Scotland Yard.
I think that's kind of what it came from.
Yeah.
It was created in 1829, and so I'm thinking mid to late 1800s.
Wait, it was created. You already looked
Scotland
it up.
Yard.
Scotland Yard. But or the other way, they get caught by Scotland Yard.
Okay.
They do their research on him.
Yardie is what they call them.
And they let him off and say, no, this guy's innocent. So he gets off by Scotland Yard, not escaping from them.
The Scot
freedom, not Scott ran from Scott.
Okay.
So there's two scenarios here. You're sitting in, hey, you never believe what just happened out down Scotland Yard. That one. And then he'd be like, no, what happened? Oh, his Scots were chasing me down old Blinken's by Miss Flynn. And, I took a corner, took a nick off the back of the puck day, and I went on down the cock day. And then he's like, well, where are they?
Sorry,
I ditched the Scots. I'm off scot-free.
Scot-free. Okay.
Yeah, this whole room is scot-free. We don't let them down here. It's a secret. It's a speakeasy. Right?
Yes.
Nice.
Or what if there was segregation and there was scot-free
this whole
zones?
Area is scot-free.
Really getting into the
The
tension.
The weeds, if you will.
Yeah. But also history.
In history.
Yeah.
Because I know there was some tension.
Untangle that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
You brought up William
So anyway,
Wallace.
Scotland Yard, scot-free, that's my thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah,
Dan's up.
I had Wallace.
He actually... Okay, yeah, okay.
Wait, you have Wallace?
No, that was one of my notes was Braveheart.
Just bring up Braveheart.
Yeah.
We're talking about favorite movies. I also want to talk about Gladiator.
Back to the Future, Braveheart.
Anything with Russell Crowe.
We got Crowe.
Yeah. Well, so we didn't really even figure out Great Scott.
No, but you think that could have been Wallace.
I mean, he's the greatest
great
of the
Scot.
Scots.
Okay.
Mad Queen of Scots.
Okay.
She was there. Mary Queen of Scots.
What about hopscotch?
That's Scotch. You keep going.
Okay,
You keep circling back to Scotch.
Scotch is a little easier.
You always circle back to Scotch.
Scotch it's smoky.
Getaway Scotch-free is different. Scotch tape.
Scotch tape.
Okay, so
which actually,
since Travis took my idea,
Scotland,
I just want to.
Scotch is called
maybe
whiskey.
It's American.
Maybe for
American tape.
2024, it would be appropriate to keep a cyclical rotation. So let's just jump back to the first episode of 2024. Travis opened. Thomas gave a second, putting me in the 3 spot. Now, for those of you that have been listening for 4 seasons, it's the further down the line this goes, the less of the upper hand you have. Okay,
nice.
The person delivering has the upper hand. So kudos for winning, Travis. But really, you knew what you were bringing. You had time to look it up on the internet and get a
No. I made time.
Right.
Wow.
To look it up. To look up the answer.
I didn't
look
up
the answer. And then you deferred it to Tom. And then it swung to me. Yeah. Now, here we are. Second episode.
It's
clean
fine.
slate. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Tom starts.
Yeah.
Trav looked up all my...
Trav pre-looked.
I did my research about what I thought
and then here's what happened is, rather than continuing what we've been doing as a clockwise rotation, it
time
swung.
Reversed.
Somehow you reversed
like
time.
Back to the Future.
I don't
Back to my favorite movie.
Rewind the tape. I don't remember much protest coming from that corner of the room. It seemed like you were very, very okay with kind of hearing what I had to say and maybe getting any little morsels.
Trav, what I wasn't going to do is let
fell
you
on the ground.
get off scot-free.
There it is.
And just feel like you can just...
All right, so let's hear it.
All right, well, since you took... probably the most likely of explanations.
I'm just saying.
I will lean heavily into the William Wallace saga of Scottish independence. The British constantly couldn't get their meat hooks off of the outer lying colonies.
Back to the Future reference.
Yep.
Get
your meat hooks off. Hey, you.
No, that's when he says
I know.
Other words.
He does. But this is a PG show. We decided for 2024.
Family friendly,
So no more
We also got a lot of calls about that, too.
Yeah. So I think
make your own show.
I think that the Scots put up such hell, such a fight that after William Wallace, they did get him and they executed him. But Robert
graphically too. Robert the Bruce.
Bruce, thank you.
Yeah.
He kind of wakes up and he goes after. Spoiler alert, everyone! In Braveheart, if you haven't seen it, if you haven't watched it in the last 30 years,
accurate.
I read.
Yeah.
Really?
No, it's not.
I read The Scottish Chiefs, which is based on the history.
Sure. There's also a good one on Netflix with Chris Pine.
Yeah. Well,
That's
for
really
those of you
good.
that don't read, that sounds fine. Anyway, I think it was the Scottish kind of held off on getting conquered. They kept their independence, and the British sort of like even the common people like, oh, what are we going to do? Just let the Scots get free, and then, well, they live another day in freedom. And it was sort of this like, oh, I guess you can stand up to the greatest power in the world and get away with it. Literally get away with murder. Are we all just looking up answers?
No. I'm just doing some
Are you?
social media.
Oh, fun.
Wow. Whoa. Trying to distract me.
Yeah.
So that would be, I have no clue actually historically when Braveheart took place, but I want to say 1550.
Yeah.
55.
That was the right answer.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's feudalism, medieval.
Right. Yeah. So it's got to be there.
So there's my 2 cents.
What else was written down in there?
Not much more.
Okay.
So you're saying, how did they get off scot-free?
Well, they challenged the British attempts to conquer them. They came out on top. They had the upper hand, and the British
against all odds.
But the
right?
British probably could have kept going, but they backed off for a while, and the citizenry and maybe even the nobles were like, well, we're just going to let these Scots get off free. And then that sort of expression of like Scot-free.
Will we let them run, my lord?
Yes.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah. I don't know that line.
It's not a real line. Travis, we know how he does that sometimes. We'll just be hanging out and like talking, and
runs
we'll
in.
Like,
I mean,
but I've seen something that I beg to differ.
The archers, my
I
lord?
know that wasn't in Back to the Future. I'll tell you that.
That was a cut scene. Travis has watched the editor's
cavalry.
Oh, that was the third one when
Henceforth.
they go Western.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
did a medieval one.
Did you see the
totally
2024 deep fake?
Yeah.
That was the worst trailer I've ever seen.
With who's the Spider-Man?
Spider-Man,
Toby, not Toby. The other
No,
Spider-Man.
the new one.
The new Spider-Man.
You know him. He's young,
Yeah.
hip. All the kids love him.
Peter Parker.
Come on. The new Spider-Man.
Justin Bieber.
Okay.
All right.
You're out.
To you, Tom.
All right.
Okay.
This episode is sponsored by not sponsored by any
Justin
of the
Bieber.
Spider-Man episodes,
Or Justin Bieber.
or the guy that's in the new
But
Spider-Man.
Justin, if you're listening,
Justin would love
come on
these.
down.
Yeah.
I bet the
Hey,
babes.
Justin, if you're listening, seek help.
Yeah. Justin, if you're listening, you
rock bottom.
you typed in white noise, help me go to sleep, and I've heard ours has been cycling
the
into some of those
algorithm
rotations.
works. I told you that. I told you. White noise.
So all I'm going to add is, since it's pretty much those two, I had Scotland Yard or William Wallace.
Yeah, so
but
it can't
I'll do
just be Trav.
that they were they didn't escape Scotland Yard. Scotland Yard set them free. Maybe they were wrongfully accused, and they did their
that's
investigation.
That's good. I like.
And they were let off.
I do like both of those.
Scot-free.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But let's go to the phrase of Great Scott first, because that's kind of where this started.
It did start there.
All right. You're looking that up?
I have it.
Right.
You ready?
All right.
So it can be traced to the 1800s.
Classic.
It is a reference to American General Winfield Scott.
Oh, Winfield.
Remember him?
Yeah.
Yep, from the 1800s.
He was Civil
Is that
War.
where you were going?
Nope, he was a major figure
War of 1812
in the Mexican-American War.
Yep.
In the 1840s.
Yep, the Alamo.
1840s.
The Alamo,
Davy
that's
Crockett.
right.
Scott was also the commander-in-chief of the American Army at the outset of the Civil War.
Yeah.
According to folklore, the men in Scott's command adopted the exclamation, Great Scott, as a way to enforce or reinforce his leadership. It went on to become popular in the later half of the 1800s and into the 20th century, although had largely been rendered a dusty relic when Doc Brown used it in 1985. So he resurfaced it.
Reignited.
You know why? Because he went back to the future into the West.
They already knew that in the first
picked it up.
episode. What?
I don't know, but
You mean
that's
back to the
I mean, Back to the Past of the Future. You know what I'm talking about.
He
We're here to
resurrected a phrasing from the 1800s.
So, Great Scott is an interjection of surprise, amazement, or dismay. It is distinctive but inoffensive exclamation popular in the second half of the 19th. No. No, I mean, unless you're a Scot who's not great and you're like,
I think the Scots,
maybe this is what you needed,
like
though.
Most Scots
yeah,
are probably
kind of a little
great.
boost your self-esteem. Oh, I am great.
All right, let's
So you're going
hear
to the
from
real
you.
deal? You're reading it in your book because you have it, or is it in there?
Oh, it's in here, and you're gonna
21.
read
Oh, I get to read it?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a bolt of lightning. A what? A bolt of lightning. Unfortunately, never know where to where. I'm just kind of filling time with some really good.
Well, we'll cut this out. It's
Okay,
fine.
perfect. Any other? So why don't you make like a tree and get out of here? Just make like a tree and leave.
Are you reading it before, or do you want the element of surprise?
No,
It's
It's
long.
disappeared?
It sent me to a place, and then
It's like it disappeared. Erased from existence. Oh, you know who didn't have the upper hand is in Back to the Future.
Yeah.
His
Oh,
brother.
His hand got cut off.
And his hand started when he was playing.
When he's playing guitar?
Johnny Be Good.
So good.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to watch
Here
it.
we
Oh
go.
man.
Scot-free, to go get off scot-free, to escape punishment or having to take the consequences of one's misdeeds. Okay, so
Yeah.
there is consequences.
Yeah.
Always.
It must be dire.
Scot, S-C-O-T, one T means
Big, that was-
payment. That's what that means. It's
We
not
knew
has
that.
nothing to do with the name.
Why
or
does a Scot mean payment? All right, I'm gonna
Keep
start
going.
with
Keep
Okay. It was the name
Just-
given to municipal taxes as early as the 13th century.
Okay.
People paid according to their means. The very poor were exempt from payment and went scot-free.
Oh.
Wow.
What
Similarly,
region is this? What or just
hopefully
in
Scotland,
general?
or else this is just a big lie.
Why?
Similarly, a Scot was a tavern score or contribution towards entertainment. To go scot-free was to be let off or to have one's bill paid by a drinking companion. So let's say we all go somewhere and Trav pays it.
Yeah.
Dan and
never
I,
happen.
Dan
Never
and I
happen.
are scot-free.
Never happen.
We should try that.
Hey, when
Let's
we got
try
pizza.
That's true.
That's right. Yeah.
You guys got off scot-free.
Well, at first,
We should see if Uncle Scott wants to maybe buy a
sponsor
round.
one of those.
That'd be
We'll
great.
just be like, this
We
was
should
from
come
Uncle
down and-
Scott. It
yeah.
was free.
The phrase was used figuratively by William Tyndale in his exposition of 1 John 15:31 to describe Christ's act of atonement. The poor sinner should go scot-free. And it is this sense of being allowed to go free and unpunished, though deserving penalty, that is current today.
Wow.
So it's a payment, scot-free. Wow.
Oh, wow. And then here's a interesting little...
Little sidebar.
The mammoth
Tidbit.
may have died out as the climate warmed up at the end of the last ice age,
He was the lucky one, am I right?
which coincided roughly with man's arrival, but the experts are reluctant to blame hunting. However, we do not escape scot-free from blame.
No, because we killed mammoths.
I don't...
That's-
Oh, that was in the Daily Mail, October 24th, 2001. So that was
Just
more...
kind of saying, and we still
a
use it.
more
Yeah.
recent...
Although a massive global event of the Ice Age came and killed everything, humans once again don't get off scot-free. Are you done?
Yeah, that was it.
This is interesting. It does say Scot. This is S-K-O-T. Was an early Icelandic and Old Norse word for payment or tax.
That's how it was spelled in there.
Came into the Middle English as biscot, referring to a customary tax. However, there's also an interesting in Macbeth, and this is it says this.
I was going to
It
say
says
the
in
Scottish
Macbeth, you may recall the line. Am I right,
Mhm.
my
You
dear
will get,
listener?
You will get off
Yeah.
play. It was
scot-free.
on the tip of my tongue right as
Mhm.
he
It's-
said
I love
it.
Macbeth.
I didn't want to interrupt.
And
so.
because most
Why
of
don't
our
you go ahead?
listeners are
Why don't you go?
Harvard, Yale,
Yeah.
Princeton educated,
Tell
it
him about
says,
the Scottish play. Do
We
it.
have
Yeah.
scotched the snake, not killed it, which means that the snake is scratched or injured. The original expression, scotch-free, meant uninjured or unmarked. very quickly became Scot-free
What?
because of colloquial speech.
So I was right. Scotch.
That's
free
That's
at
an
the beginning.
option
It's an
from
option.
Paul Keenan from London. He
Oh,
submitted that to the Guardian. So we don't know.
No,
We don't know.
But
Once
I think
again,
I think that was very. Yeah, that was a turn of hand, if you will.
It's quite interesting. Yeah.
it was
I
a
mean,
sleight of
I
hand.
was caught off guard.
Plot twist.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like tonight we're going to let our listeners off scot-free. This episode, like all episodes,
Is
is
on us.
completely free.
Mm-hmm. Let us pay the tab on this
We
one.
will
Yep.
pay your tab, Scotch tab.
But we're
Look
saying
for
they
that
did something
reimbursement
wrong,
on your credit
and they're
card.
getting off.
What?
Listening, they probably could have done something better with their time.
That's true.
But you don't need to. It's just like, no, you know
No,
what?
It's fine.
You know what?
Right?
No guilt.
You know?
This is a
There's
guilt-free show.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
feel guilty by
No,
wasting
no.
15, 20,
Don't let
30
all your
minutes of your day.
friends make fun of you again for listening to this.
And for
Yeah.
telling them about it over and over again and how
Over
much
and
you love
over.
it.
And posting on social media and calling people and trying to get us advertisements. We're going to let you get off scot-free.
Yeah, don't feel the
through
guilt,
your
the
efforts
pressure.
to just, because
I'm gonna take a soft 5,
we're
guys.
desperate. We're desperate. This ship is sinking.
Well, Tom, thank you for.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you for that idiom.
I feel like that was the most
Scot-free.
prepared you've been in
in a while.
a while.
Well, I have, I am a new
Doesn't
father.
Doesn't it feel good
and
to
I feel
care?
a
You are
sense of
still
birth.
a father.
I'm
It's
still,
almost
but I'm a
like-
new father where you're like, oh shoot, I need to
gotta
start.
try again.
Yeah, I
maybe
gotta.
I'll get it right this
maybe
time.
I'll do better this time.
Yeah.
You were the baby, and now you're.
I get a second, nay,
Growing.
a fourth chance at redemption.
Exactly.
She'll be the
She'll
one.
be the one. She'll
Maybe
make it out
you'll-
of this
Yeah.
shed hole.
Exactly. Nicely done. Very good. They sleep in here when we're not in here? Is
Well,
that
if
what
they
you're
disobey,
saying? Wow.
when they don't get off scot-free,
Yeah.
tell you that much.
Wow, they
Jeez.
shed some tears in the shed. The old
Mhm.
shed tears. Ooh.
Well,
Boys, it's been a pleasure. And once again, we ride at dusk.
Let's ride.
we still doing that? That was early
Get
on.
on about it, you bitch.
Oh.
Get on about it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's just for the.
wanted the-
That's for the people washing. Oh, the coconuts. I should have some in here
I'm
somewhere.
sure you have some coconuts that were used for other.
Break
Yeah,
this
they
little
were-
6-shooter out.
Bikini tops, if you will.
That was good.